Welcome to the first crafting tutorials, so custom recipe tutorials, whatever. If we look at /val, there's a lot of them. So how this is split up, this episode I'll show you how to disable vanilla recipes and create crafting grid recipes. Then next episode will be brewing, smithing. Then all of these will be in one because they're all very similar, but smelting. Then there'll be immersive crafting, and then cauldron recipes. So you're on episode 1 of 6 on the recipes. So sit down and let's learn how to do this. Let's just create like a basic item that can help you understand how this works. You can go over to this side and hit new. What will the recipe be called? This is if you want to look up the recipe, if you want to copy the recipe, if you want to reference the recipe in the config files when you're trying to make skills, unlock recipes, and things like that. This is what it would be under. So I recommend knowing what it is, but you can, I believe, change this later. For now, I'm just going to do it as vid test. So let me just take you through everything you see. First, set display name. This sets the display name of the recipe that's displayed in the recipe books. Then you see block conditions. This is a very big thing, and I'll go over it in this episode and maybe in others. Block conditions. And you want a lectern nearby, and so within 5 blocks, and you want the underneath of the crafting table to require hot floors, and you also want it to be surrounded by stone bricks. You can do that. This is limited to what you see here, but as far as I've needed, it's been pretty good. Unlock for everyone. This should be yes, unless you plan on hiding it behind a reward in the skill tree. But if you're just planning on a normal recipe, I would say yes. Hidden from recipe books should always be no, but if you're trying to make like a hidden secret recipe, go for it. I'm not going to do it for this example. Select with which tool to tinker. This is a tinkering recipe thing, and I will make a separate in-depth video on how tinkering works. But basically, it's a quick rundown of tinkering. There's an item, and you can add stuff to it, and it modifies it. So it's the same item, but just changes things depending on what you put in the modifiers. So don't worry about that for this. Ingredient options. When there's ingredients in here, you can make it so similar items, any weapons, any tools, similar tools in material, so diamond tool like diamond axe, diamond pickaxe, any equipment, armor, similar armor. You get the basics. For most cases, you want to do material data requirement. This basically just means, hey, same custom texture, same name, same item. This is what you'll do for most of the things, but there is other things here if you wanna. We'll get back to that when I actually start making this. Select which item is a tool. So for crafting recipes, you can have certain tools required. So you can assign any item with a tool and what number you want it to be. I will show that when I show the tinkering too, but basically don't worry about it for now, but it's a very cool mechanic that I will show in the future. Shapeless is basically, does the thing that you made have to follow the exact shape and exact placement, or can it just be kind of wherever, as long as the items are in the grid? For me, I'm just going to say no, that way it can be wherever. Once again, tool required, kind of same thing. Valhalla tool. If enabled, any armor tools in the recipe need to be from Valhalla. I haven't had a reason to use this yet, but it's good to have because there might be a day where you do need. And this is to toggle if it's a tinkering thing or no. So, and then this is just modifiers. This is delete recipe. This is go back to the menu. This is confirm, which I always say to exit this menu, make sure you hit confirm just in case. So let's get started. Let's say you need 3 gold, you need that, and then a gold nugget there. Obviously this can be any shape because it's shapeless. But now, what if someone just renames the gold to something else? I don't want that. It needs to be exactly this gold. So you gotta click requires the exact same thing. Put that on all of these to make sure it's exactly what you're looking for. Because if you have, example, a retextured gold nugget, that would work here too. If you want that, that's fine, don't apply it. But now this is the output. So let's say you want this to give you 2 golden nuggets or 2 golden ingots, then you can do that. So right now, if we were to craft this, it would be functional. It won't allow me to craft. And you see that in chat there? Requires a lectern nearby. Remember those requirements we set up earlier? Now let's craft it. Oh, but now it's not boiling. Now, the whole boiling feature is more for the cauldrons. Just so you know, that's why it says it isn't boiling. You can change the message in config, but that just means there needs to be a heat block underneath it. Okay, now what's wrong? Surely we're good. No, because we need it doesn't say it, but it needs to be surrounded by stone. Oh, there you go. Stone brick furnace. So those things are more for stone for furnaces, but you can use it as you wish. So now you need to have you need to surround it like this. And this would be what it would be like. But since there's a heat block underneath, we're missing a block, so I'll just place that there. Now we can craft it. Now that every requirement is met, there's a lectern nearby, it has a heat block under it, and it has all the stone bricks around it. And then when we craft it, we get 2 gold ingots, and it takes those resources. So we're done with that. I think that's a pretty good deep dive into the crafting. It's not complicated. It's pretty self-explanatory for the most part, but I just want to make sure you understand how everything fully works. So that's what every button does here. Now let's go into disabling vanilla recipes. It's this button at the top here. Didn't know of its existence. I thought it was just like an exit menu button, but eventually I learned. It's very simple. You just click on it and it's disabled. And you can click on it again. I think a server restart does need to happen for it to fully disable it, but you can click on it and it can disable that recipe. So let's say I no longer want people to be able to make torches, right? Now if I go to make torches, let's see if I need to restart the server or not. I can't make torches. So that's how you disable vanilla recipes. So the situation for that would probably be if you have a recipe that's like replacing it. Like for example, if you look here, all the tools and stuff will be disabled because we have a new version of the crafting recipe. So that's just something to know if you're replacing recipes for already existing items. Make sure you disable it in vanilla recipes. Otherwise, through the recipe book, they can make the old version too. That's about all you need to learn about deleting recipes and crafting recipes. It was a quick one, and most of these will be quick, but it shows you just a precise deep dive into it specifically. If you have any questions about this, you can leave a comment. I'll try and respond. If it's a complicated question or like, hey, could I do this in theory, I'd recommend joining my Discord server and asking me, or especially joining the Valhalla official Discord server and asking in there. If you could please like the video so we could get this out to people who are new to Valhalla and up at the top, because all the other tutorials are years old and out of date. Make sure you check the wiki for any questions beforehand, and I hope this helped you. Goodbye.